California drivers paid out hundreds of millions of dollars in traffic fines. And in February 2026, that number is expected to skyrocket. Why? Because a wave of new driving laws is quietly rolling out, and most drivers have no idea how easily they could violate them. We are not talking about reckless speeding at 100 miles per hour. We are talking about everyday habits, the kind you probably did this morning without even thinking. And under the new rules, one small mistake could trigger a fine that hits your wallet harder than your monthly car payment. Here's the scary part: many of these violations are now digitally monitored, camera enforced, and automatically processed. That means no warning, no friendly officer giving you a break, just a ticket mailed straight to your home. Imagine opening your mailbox and finding a $500 fine because of something you didn't even realize was illegal. Sounds extreme? It's already happening. So, what exactly changed in February 2026? And which common driving habits could cost you hundreds, even thousands overnight? Stay with me, because the next few minutes could literally save you a massive financial headache. Number 1, expanded speed camera enforcement. Here's something most drivers don't realize: California is rapidly expanding automated speed enforcement zones, especially in busy city corridors, school areas, and high accident neighborhoods. And starting February 2026, these cameras aren't just pilot programs anymore. They're fully operational, calibrated, and actively issuing citations. That means you don't need to be pulled over to get fined. If the system detects you speeding, the ticket can be processed automatically and mailed directly to your home. Why is this happening? State traffic safety data consistently shows that even a small increase in speed dramatically raises crash severity. Studies have found that automated speed enforcement can reduce injury crashes by nearly 20%. So, from a safety standpoint, then the goal is simple: slow drivers down and save lives. But from your perspective as a driver, it means there's far less room for just a few miles over. That casual 7 or 8 miles per hour above the limit that once felt harmless. It could now cost you $100 to $500 or more, depending on the zone. And here's where it gets tricky. These cameras are often placed in areas where speed limits suddenly drop: near schools, construction zones, or dense residential streets. One distracted moment, one missed sign, and you're flagged. No flashing lights, no conversation, just a citation. So, what can you do? Start using cruise control even in city traffic when possible. Pay close attention to new signage that indicates automated enforcement, and mentally reset your driving habits. Assume that if there's a posted limit, it's being monitored. Because in 2026, their speeding isn't just risky, it's digitally documented. If this information just saved you from a surprise ticket, drop a car in the comments and tell us which law shocked you most. We put serious research and effort into every video, so take 1 second to subscribe. It's just one click, but it helps us keep protecting drivers like you. Number 2, stricter hands-free law. Think checking your phone at a red light is harmless? In February 2026, that quick tap could officially count as a violation. California is tightening its hands-free driving laws, and enforcement is becoming much stricter. Under the updated rules, drivers are no longer allowed to hold, scroll, tap, or physically interact with their phones while operating a vehicle. And yes, that includes while stopped at traffic lights or in heavy traffic. Why such a serious crackdown? because distracted driving continues to be one of the leading causes of accidents statewide. Safety researchers have consistently found that even a 2-second glance at a screen doubles your risk of a crash. At 35 miles per hour, that's like driving the length of a basketball court completely blind. Then lawmakers argue that partial attention is not safe attention, and the new enforcement reflects that mindset. Now, here's the part that could hurt your wallet. A first offense can cost you over $160, and that's before insurance companies get involved. Multiple violations can add points to your driving record, which may quietly increase your premiums for years. What feels like a harmless habit could snowball into hundreds, even thousands of dollars in long term costs. So, what should you do? Mount your phones securely before you start driving. Set your navigation and playlist in advance. Turn on Do Not Disturb while driving mode. If you truly need to text or check something urgent, pull over safely. In 2026, convenience is no longer an excuse, and your reflex to grab your phone could become a very expensive mistake. If you've ever checked your phone at a red light, be honest, drop a phone in the comments. We spend hours researching laws that protect your money, so please subscribe. It's just one click, but it helps us keep creating content that saves you from costly surprises. Number 3. EV charging spot violations. Here's a mistake that seems small, but could seriously drain your bank account in 2026. Parking in an EV charging space without actively charging your vehicle, even just for a few minutes, is now being enforced much more aggressively across California. And in some cities, fines can climb close to $1,000 once penalties and fees stack up. With California pushing hard toward electric vehicle adoption, charging stations are no longer treated like regular parking spots. They are considered essential infrastructure. State transportation data shows EV ownership has surged in recent years, which means competition for charging access is higher than ever. When a gas powered car blocks a charger, or even an EV sits there fully charged without unplugging, it creates delays, frustration, or an enforcement pressure. What's changed in February 2026 is the strict monitoring and ticketing process. Many charging areas are now under surveillance, and parking enforcement officers are specifically assigned to patrol high demand zones like shopping centers, apartments, and downtown areas. Some cities are also introducing higher tier penalties for repeat offenders. Picture this: you run into a store for 5 minutes, thinking no one will notice. But by the time you return, there's a bright citation on your windshield, or worse, your vehicle is being prepared for towing. That quick stop suddenly turns into a day ruining expense. The smart move? Treat EV charging spots like handicapped spaces, completely off limits unless you are actively charging and permitted to park there. Always read signage carefully. And if you drive an EV, move your car promptly once charging is complete. In 2026, parking convenience is not worth a four-figure fine. Be honest. Have you ever parked in an EV spot just for a minute? Drop a lightning bolt in the comments. We put serious time into researching updates that protect your wallet, so hit subscribe. It's one simple click that helps us keep looking out for you. Number 4. Real-time insurance verification. This next change is one of the most dangerous for your finances because it can happen without you even being pulled over. Starting February 2026, California is expanding its real-time insurance verification system, meaning your vehicle registration is now continuously cross-checked with active insurance databases. If there's even a short gap in your coverage, the system can automatically flag your vehicle. In the past, some drivers would switch insurance companies and accidentally allow a few days of overlap, or worse, a few days of no coverage at all. Maybe a payment didn't process. Maybe you were waiting for paperwork to finalize. Before, you might not have noticed until renewal time. Now, that small lapse can trigger an immediate notice of suspension, registration hold, or even fines. Why the crackdown? State officials argue that uninsured drivers increase accident costs for everyone. Studies consistently show that uninsured motorists contribute to higher overall insurance premiums statewide. So, California is tightening enforcement to reduce those risks. But here's the harsh reality. Even responsible drivers can get caught in administrative gaps. The financial impact isn't small. You could face reinstatement fees, penalties, and potentially higher insurance rates. In some cases, driving with a suspended registration can lead to additional citations, compounding the damage. So, what's the smart move? Double check your policy status today. Confirm automatic payments are active. If switching providers, make sure the new policy begins before the old one ends. Keep digital proof of coverage saved on your phone. In 2026, insurance isn't just paperwork, it's actively monitored, and one missed payment could create a snowball of expensive consequences. Have you ever switched insurance companies and worried about coverage gaps? Drop and shield in the comments. We research these updates to help protect your hard earned money. So please subscribe. It's just one click, but it helps us keep bringing you critical updates like this. Number 5. Street racing and sideshow crackdowns. You might think street racing only affects the drivers involved, but under the updated 2026 enforcement rules, simply being present at a street takeover or sideshow event could put your wallet at serious risk. California is dramatically increasing penalties, expanding definitions of participation, and giving law enforcement broader authority to issue citations, impound vehicles, and even suspend licenses. Here's why this matters. Over the past few years, illegal street racing and intersection sideshows have surged across major cities. Traffic safety reports link these events to severe crashes, pedestrian injuries, and property damage. In response, lawmakers are treating these gatherings not just as traffic violations, but as public safety threats. What's new in February 2026 is how wide the net has become. You no longer have to be spinning donuts in the middle of the intersection to face consequences. If you're blocking traffic, filming from inside your vehicle, or refusing to leave when instructed, you could be cited. In some cases, vehicles connected to these events can be impounded for up to 30 days, with towing and storage fees stacking into the thousands. Imagine this scenario. You're driving home late at night and stumble upon a crowd gathered at an intersection. You slow down out of curiosity. Suddenly, roads are blocked and police arrive. What felt like a quick glance could now involve questioning, citations, or worse, an impound notice. The safest move? Avoid the area entirely. If you see a gathering forming, reroute immediately. Don't record from your car. Don't linger. Then in 2026, curiosity at the wrong moment could become an extremely expensive mistake. Have you ever accidentally driven into one of these events? Drop a traffic light in the comments and share your experience. We spend hours researching updates like this to protect drivers, so take 1 second to subscribe. It's a single click that helps us keep doing the hard work for you. Number 6. Expanded pedestrian and cyclist right-of-way. Here's a change that sounds simple, but could cost you thousands if you get it wrong. In February 2026, California is strengthening pedestrian and cyclist right-of-way protections, especially in urban areas and marked crosswalk zones. And enforcement isn't just about obvious violations anymore. It's about hesitation, incomplete stops, and unsafe turns. Why the shift? Pedestrian fatalities have been rising in recent years, particularly in dense city environments. Safety studies consistently show that turning vehicles, especially right turns at intersections, are one of the biggest risks to people walking or biking. Lawmakers are responding by tightening the rules and increasing penalties for drivers who fail to yield properly. What's different now is how strictly failure to yield is interpreted. If a pedestrian has stepped off the curb, even slightly, you're expected to stop. Rolling through a right turn while someone is waiting to cross? That could count. Passing too closely to a cyclist without sufficient space? Another possible citation. Fines can range from several $100s to much higher if an injury occurs, and insurance consequences can follow. Picture this. You're in a rush, glancing left for oncoming cars before turning right. But you didn't double check the crosswalk on your right side. A pedestrian steps forward, you brake suddenly, and now you're facing a citation. The smart habit? Slow down well before intersections. Pause longer than you think you need to. Scan twice. Left, right, and then right again. In 2026, or a moment of impatience could turn into a long-term financial headache. Have you ever had a close call at a crosswalk? Drop a walker in the comments and tell us what happened. We put serious effort into researching these updates, so please subscribe. It's just one click, but it helps us keep protecting drivers like you. Number 7. Expanded Move Over Law. Most drivers have heard of the Move Over Law, but in February 2026, California is expanding it in ways that many people don't fully understand. What used to apply mainly to police vehicles now includes a much broader list: tow trucks, emergency responders, Caltrans vehicles, utility trucks, and even certain roadside service vehicles with flashing amber lights. Here's the serious part. If you see flashing lights on the shoulder, you are now legally required to change lanes whenever it is safe to do so. And if you can't change lanes, you must significantly reduce your speed. Simply slowing down a little may no longer be enough. Why the crackdown? Roadside workers face extremely high injury and fatality rates each year. Studies show that high-speed passing vehicles are one of the biggest dangers to emergency and maintenance crews. Lawmakers want drivers to create a clear safety buffer, not just a symbolic slowdown. The financial consequences can sting. Violations can carry fines of $400 to $500 or more. And if your failure to move over contributes to an incident, penalties can increase dramatically. Add insurance rate hikes to the mix, and a single mistake could follow you for years. Picture this. You're focused on traffic ahead, maybe adjusting your radio, when you suddenly notice flashing lights on the shoulder. You hesitate, unsure whether to merge. That hesitation, even if unintentional, could result in a citation captured by patrol enforcement. The safest habit? The moment you see flashing lights ahead, check your mirrors and prepare to merge early. Make it automatic. In 2026, Giving space isn't just courteous, it's legally critical. Have you ever been unsure whether to move over or just slow down? Drop a in the comments. We research these changes to save you money and stress. So please subscribe. It's one quick click that helps us keep delivering updates that truly matter. Number 8. Catalytic Converter Regulation. Catalytic converter theft has been a massive problem across California, costing drivers thousands in repairs. But in February 2026, the state is tightening catalytic converter replacement and documentation laws, and this is where many honest drivers could accidentally get caught in the crossfire. Here's what's changing. Repair shops must now follow stricter documentation procedures, including recording vehicle identification numbers, keeping detailed transaction records, and verifying that replacement parts meet updated emission standards. That sounds reasonable, but if you choose the wrong repair shop or install a non-compliant part, you could face unexpected penalties. Why such strict oversight? Law enforcement data shows catalytic converter theft rings often resell stolen parts through loosely regulated channels. By tightening repair and resale documentation, the state aims to reduce black market activity and protect emission standards. However, this also means drivers must be extra careful when handling repairs. The financial risk isn't small. Installing a non-compliant converter could result in a failed smog check, additional repair costs, and potential fines. If documentation isn't properly filed, it may delay registration renewal or create legal complications down the road. Imagine this. Your converter is stolen overnight. You're stressed. You need your car running fast, and you choose the cheapest repair option available. Months later, during inspection, you find out the part doesn't meet regulations, and now you're paying again. The safest move? Always use a licensed repair facility, request detailed receipts, and confirm the replacement part is California compliant. In 2026, cutting corners on repairs could cost you far more than the original theft. Has your catalytic converter ever been stolen? Drop a wrench in the comments and share your story. We put serious time into researching these changes. So please subscribe. It's one simple click that helps us keep protecting drivers like you. Number 9. Tougher DUI monitoring and enforcement. If you think DUI laws only affect people who are clearly intoxicated, February 2026 might change your perspective. California is strengthening DUI monitoring and enforcement policies, and the margin between "I'm fine to drive" and "I just made a life altering mistake" is getting smaller. Here's what's happening. Law enforcement agencies are increasing sobriety checkpoints, expanding monitoring programs for repeat offenders, and using more advanced roadside testing tools. There's also heavier scrutiny on drivers under 21 and those already on probation. Even a borderline blood alcohol level can now trigger more immediate consequences. Why the push? Alcohol-related crashes continue to account for a significant percentage of fatal accidents each year. These safety studies consistently show that impairment begins well before someone feels drunk. Reaction time slows, judgment weakens, risk-taking increases. Lawmakers argue that prevention requires stricter enforcement, not just harsher punishment after a tragedy. The financial consequences are staggering. A first DUI offense can cost thousands of dollars when you factor in fines, legal fees, license suspension, mandatory programs, and skyrocketing insurance premiums. And that's not counting lost work time or long-term record impacts. Picture this. You leave a dinner thinking you're under the limit. You feel alert. But at a checkpoint, you're tested. and suddenly you're facing court dates and massive expenses. That one decision can follow you for years. The smartest strategy? Plan transportation before you drink. Use rideshare apps. Designate a driver. In 2026, guessing you're okay to drive is no longer worth the gamble, financially or legally. Have you ever second guessed whether you were safe to drive? Drop a car in the comments and share your thoughts. We put serious effort into researching these updates, so please subscribe. It's one quick click that helps us continue creating videos that protect your future. Number 10. Registration and temporary plate crackdown. This final change might be the easiest mistake to make and one of the fastest ways to get fined in 2026. California is cracking down hard on expired registrations, fake temporary plates, and improperly displayed tags, and the enforcement is becoming increasingly digital. Here's what's new. Law enforcement agencies are expanding the use of automated license plate readers, ALPRs. These systems scan thousands of plates per hour and instantly cross-check them against state databases. If your registration is expired, even by a short period, the system can flag your vehicle immediately. Why the strict enforcement? Officials argue that expired and fraudulent plates have been linked to toll evasion, uninsured driving, and other violations. By tightening monitoring, whether the state aims to reduce revenue loss and increase accountability. But for everyday drivers, this means there's very little room for procrastination. The financial impact can add up quickly. An expired registration can result in fines, late penalties, and in some cases, towing. If your vehicle is repeatedly flagged, the situation can escalate, and relying on the idea that it's just a few weeks overdue is no longer safe when digital systems are scanning constantly. Picture this. You're driving to work, completely unaware your registration renewal didn't process correctly. Days later, you receive a citation notice in the mail. No warning, no conversation, just a bill. The safest move? Set renewal reminders months in advance. Confirm payment receipts. Double check that your tags are properly displayed. In 2026, your license plate isn't just identification, it's constantly monitored data. If you've ever delayed renewing your registration, be honest, drop a tag in the comments. We spend hours researching updates like this to protect your wallet, so please subscribe. It's just one click, but it helps us keep bringing you information that truly matters. If there's one thing you should take away from this video, it's this. Most of these fines don't happen because drivers are reckless. They happen because drivers are unaware. The roads haven't changed overnight, but the rules, technology, and enforcement systems absolutely have. Cameras are smarter. Databases are connected in real time. Monitoring is faster and more automated than ever before. And that means small habits you've had for years could suddenly become very expensive mistakes. Think about it. A quick glance at your phone, rolling slightly over the speed limit, parking just for a minute in the wrong space, forgetting to double check your insurance payment. None of these feel like major violations in the moment, but stacked together under stricter 2026 enforcement, they can quietly drain hundreds or even thousands of dollars from your bank account. The good news? Every single issue we discuss today is preventable. A little awareness, the few habit adjustments, setting reminders, slowing down just a bit more. These are small changes that can protect not only your finances, but also your driving record and peace of mind. So here's the real question. Are you going to wait until a citation shows up in your mailbox? Or are you going to adjust now and stay ahead of the system? Driving in California in 2026 isn't just about getting from point A to point B anymore. It's about being informed, proactive, and financially smart. Stay alert, stay updated, and most importantly, protect your hard earned money before the system takes it from you.